I'm so conscious of my brand. I'm so conscious of my character. You know what I'm saying? Because they could take the money away, but they could never take your character away. And even if they do take the money away, your character could always get you more money.
Yeah. And so if I hear you correctly, you're saying in order to be successful, character matters more than money.
Much.
Yeah.
I think the secret sauce is being honorable, being honorable to a fault, being a good person, investing in people. It's only business if both sides are profiting. You know what I'm saying? If I'm making money and you're not, I'm using you. You know what I'm saying? So like make sure that everybody eats.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. You see him to change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprint, the wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
Welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, today we have the Haitian billionaire, my brother, the real estate investor, developer, just somebody who has made a great life, but also somebody who is vulnerable, who is willing to share, who's willing to show you that if you take all of the past things, the dark places, and you add those all up and you get past them, you can live the life that you desire. I got my brother, Mr. Jude in the building. What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
Good, man. Just trying to live up to that intro you just gave me.
Nah, man, I appreciate you, man, and your story because, I think that when we look at success, success always looks like it is this one linear thing. No one talks about the ups and downs and the things that have got them to success, but you share that freely. And you are a success in every sense of the word. But before we even get to that, who is, in your words, who is Jude Bernard?
Who is Jude Bernard? Jude Bernard is my mother and father's son, real estate developer, general contractor, broker, but I'm just a kid from Brooklyn, yo. Kid from Bedford and Farragut Road, you know. Came up in the 80s, 80s babies, pre-gentrification, pre-Starbucks, pre all of that. Just a kid from the hood that pretty much, with a little bit of luck and a little bit of hard work, saved, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Got saved by real estate. So that's who Jude Bernard is.
Yeah. And so take us through that, right? Because if anybody understands real estate has the ups and downs. You are on the upside of real estate, and coming from the hood, being able. Right, you own your own. You got like a hefty net worth. Right? I ain't gonna put all your business out here, but you like rich, right? Like you rich, right? But coming from the hood, how take us back to how'd you get to this level of success? Like what was that? What was that early Jude Bernard story?
Early Jude Bernard story is, again, I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn, right? And my parents, mother worked at a hotel, dad worked as a taxi driver, hardworking people. We were never poor, you know what I'm saying? Like not poor, like, you know what I'm saying? Like rap video poor, not like that. Yeah. But, I had basics, like I had the rejects, the Bobbies, the sneakers from Bobbies and all that other stuff. And I always just wanted more, and desire, kind of like when you growing up in the semi-hood or hood, whatever you want to call it, that desire to want more can sometimes lead you to doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. And I was always enterprising as a kid. I was always hustling. I had little side businesses here and there, and some of my enterprising ways, would tend to get me in trouble at times. And you know, after one or two incidents, I was just like, yo, this is not the move. And what I started to do, I just started working hard, working really hard. Like I used to work at Verizon, working like 50, 60 hours a week, but working hard is not the way to go, you know, because it's time. It's basically dollars for time, and there's only a limited amount of time you could get paid. So with that being said, I had gotten introduced to real estate. And funny enough, one of the things that really motivated me to get into real estate was because I got involved in real estate in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s, and this was like during the bad boy era, right? You know what I'm saying? You had, this was when Puff was in there buying out the bar and just wilding out, having a good time. Everybody was having, you know, everybody's buying bottles and stuff like that. And here I am working at my job, you know, barely scraping by and stuff like, so I couldn't hang. So I was looking for a way, a legit way to make some supplemental income. At that time, I was also working on my on my MBA. So I was trying to get my MBA, just trying to get a way to, you know what I'm saying, make it. You know what I'm saying, like follow the blueprint, you know, go to work, get a good job and just grind. I ended up, while I was in grad school, I ended up taking out some student loans and using that student loan money to buy my first real estate property, right? And the only thing that I wanted from that real estate property was to make $500 a month. That was my goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I could have a job paying me what they were paying me, which was like maybe $60,000 or $70,000 back then, and then make an extra $500 a month, I'd be golden. You know what I'm saying? I could buy a couple of bottles at the bar, you know? So that was my introduction into real estate. So I got that property, pulled cash out of that, got into the next one and so forth and so on. And slowly but surely, 20 plus years later, I'm here with you. So that's the story. That's the, you know what I'm saying, that's the basic outline of who I am and how I got started in this game.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Are you a coach, consultant, service provider, course creator, or expert that wants more clients to happily pay you $3K to $10K for your programs and services? If you answered yes, I have a special gift for you. It's from my guy, Marquell Russell, and it's called the Paid Ad Playbook, which shows you how to actually get 50 to 100 leads every single day that actually convert into clients. Marquell, he's used the same process to help clients create over $250 million in revenue. And this is more than $250 million. You heard me right. Some of the top influencers, coaches, and consultants in the world have used Marquell strategies to build multi-million-dollar businesses, and they still use them on a daily basis. And the cool thing is that this works for you even if nobody knows who you are. So to get free access, go to InsideTheVaultGift.com or text VAULT to 904-447-5274. Again, that's InsideTheVaultGift.com or text VAULT to 904-447-5274. My guy's going to take care of you. Let him know that Ash Cash sent you. Yeah. And so, you have a multi-million-dollar portfolio, right, in real estate and worth a lot of money, right? But throughout that journey, there were some ups and downs. There were some struggles. One of them, which is gambling.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of times people think that getting money, right, is the end all be all, and not realizing that there are things that come with getting money, making money, that could actually take you in the opposite direction. So can you talk a little bit about sort of like that gambling addiction that you had to deal with?
I'm just now coming to grips with the fact that my gambling had nothing to do with money, but it was my desire to win. Right? So, like I used to be a degenerate gambler, and I remember one time I was coming from work, and I drove past LaGuardia Airport, and I was stuck in traffic, so I jumped out the car and jumped on a plane and went to Vegas.
Wow.
Right? So on that trip, I ended up sitting at a blackjack table for 30 hours straight. Wow. 30, like 20, a whole day.
Wow, wow.
A day and change went by, and I was sitting at that blackjack table.
Yeah.
And when I came out of it, I was literally $130,000 light.
Wow.
You know, so like I had a lot of plans of things that I was going to do. I actually was about to take a job, and I had to make the decision. I was just like, yo, I can't take this job right now because I'm $130,000 in debt. Because I don't even know how much I lost, because I don't know how much like my cards and all that other stuff, but I know I owed the casino $130,000.
Wow.
You know, so it was from that I walked out of that casino after trying to stop gambling for years. I walked out of the casino and went to the first tattoo parlor I found, and I got this tattoo that I put on my hand that says "Never Again," 12/13/04.
Wow.
And I've never gambled a day in my life since then.
Wow.
Because I've been tempted to, I've wanted to, but you know, you could lie to anybody in the world, but you can't lie to yourself. So I'd be a real clown if I'm talking about hit me and I'm looking at this right here. Or I'd be a real clown if I'm driving and I'm looking at this knowing where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing, because I had tried Gamblers Anonymous, I had tried therapy, hypnosis, none of that stuff, none of that stuff worked. Right? But it was this one little tattoo, this one little $75 tattoo that changed my life. You know?
And you said something very interesting, right? Because you said that gambling really didn't have anything to do with money. It had something to do with your desire to win, right? That desire to win doesn't really escape anybody. Like you know, energy never dies; it just gets transferred.
It's the gift and the curse.
Right. And so how were you able to transfer that energy, and what did you transfer that energy to?
Well, I'm still trying to win every day, all day. A quick story. I was closing on an apartment building, and I was literally about to walk away with like 7 figures. And this was something like as recent as last year. I was walking away from the deal for like 7 figures, and I was in the process of like texting with one of my boys, and this was right when crypto crashed again the last time, right? And so I shorted the market. I shorted crypto, and nothing big, but I had like $500 of shorting it, right? And I was like, during the closing, as things were unfolding, I was pretty much, my $500 had turned into $1,500, right? But here we are with all the paperwork and stuff going on, like for me to walk away with 7 figures plus. I'm over here stressing over this thing because I wanted to win. It was more important for me to be right. That feeling of you know what I'm saying, I believed in something, I did my research and this, that, the other, and here it is coming to fruition. So it had nothing to do, because you know what I'm saying, there's $1 million on the table. There's $1 million on the table. And here I am being distracted, the attorneys are talking to me, the title people are talking to me, and this, that, the other, and I'm just like, one sec, I gotta handle this. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it dawned on me that it has nothing to do with the money. It has something to do with my desire to win. So it's like, so now that I know this, now that I'm aware of the beast that lies inside of me, my desire to win, what do I do with that? You know, so what's important to me now? What's important to me now is like making people aware of being financially aware. So so for every one of my boys that I changed their lives, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a medal. That's like another trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I could like right now, I could literally say I've made 6 of my boys millionaires. I'm
Nice.
going for 10.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
those are like my medals.
Right.
You know, so it's basically, you're absolutely right. The energy is the same.
Yeah.
But it's just like anything in life, it's just like, how do you direct that?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing about, I was talking to some kids at a barbershop recently who was talking about credit card scams, right? And I was just and I was just like listening to them. I was just like, yo, check this out. If you were smart enough to do a credit card scam, what if you took that same energy, that credit card scam that you G'd off for like $6,000 or whatever? What if you took the energy and you built some business credit, and you took the money from that business credit and you invested it into a business, or you invested it in some real estate and all of this, where you would not, you know what I'm saying, you would not like you could literally walk into the store and buy it legit without the fear that, you know that cold sweat that goes, that when you know you're doing something that you ain't supposed to do.
Yeah.
Imagine I was telling them kids, I was like, imagine you could do that without having to risk your life. Because you just risked your life for $6,000,
Right.
but it's clear that you have some sort of intelligence to you. So it's just a matter of you transferring that intelligence, that passion, that desire, that vision into something a little bit more fruitful. You know?
Yeah. And so transferring energy into something fruitful, the desire to win, having that, having the ability to, get through, so gambling addiction, things of that nature. You're not someone who is prone to loss, right? And so, you were at a situation where you lost it all, right? Like you were able to build up, wealth for yourself, but then lose it. Talk to us about that time.
All right, so back in the wild cowboy days of real estate, that for anybody who doesn't know, the wild cowboy days are like from like 2003 to 2008, like when anything goes, you know what I'm saying? So I was getting money, I was buying properties, I was flipping properties, like the money was just coming. And at that time, I think I had got my net worth up to like $3 million. And you couldn't tell me I didn't make it at that time, you know what I'm saying? I went out, copped the big crib in Jersey with the pool, and that, you know what I'm saying? I had, whatever Hot Whip was out at the time, I had that and stuff like that. And when the market turned, just like that, all my joints were in foreclosure.
Wow.
Like I went from having a net worth of like $3 million to being in over $1 million worth of debt.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just like that, everything turned. And first thing that it taught me is like what really matters. Right? So I started thinking, depression, you know what I'm saying? Why do I don't even want to be here anymore? Like I won't go as far as saying that I was suicidal, but there was that, I don't give a F. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens, happens. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because like I remember sitting in my house waiting for them to come foreclose. And it came to a point where I was just like, you know what? I could sit here and die, or I could fight. You know what I'm saying? I chose to fight. But along with that decision, I was just like, all right, what are the things that are important to me? One is the people that I love. You know what I'm saying? The relationships that I'm making. So with all that being said, those are the things that drove me to start pushing forward. So like once real estate fell apart, I started doing it all. Like I had, I ended up, one of the last things that I did before they came to foreclose on my crib pretty much is I had this big party at my house. And I remember the next day I was cleaning the hair out the skimmers. And I was just like, I was trying to figure out what girl had, you know what I'm saying, like had this hair weave, and then I went back and looked at the pictures and I realized they all had hair weaves.
Right.
And then I was talking to one of my homegirls. I was just like, yo, it's crazy, all this hair weave stuff like that. How much does that stuff cost? And she told me, started researching, and this was like 2009. So this was before like you could get anything online. So what ended up happening was I ended up going to India.
Wow.
And finding a hair connect.
Wow.
Finding a hair connect, and then I opened up a shop. Like a straight dude who knew nothing about hair or makeup or any of that stuff. We jumped into business. I started this business called Select Strands. Out the blue, and within 2 years, I was like the number 3 hair supplier of Indian hair in New York.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I rocked out with that for a couple of years, and I started, started making some money. I was doing that. I was Airbnb-ing out my house, my personal house. I was Airbnb-ing out some of the rentals that I had. I was doing that, and I started thinking about all the relationships that I had, and being a degenerate gambler that I used to be, I still had these contacts. So I started hosting poker nights. So I used to be there, providing food and all that other stuff, hosting poker nights. So all of these things are the things that I did just to stack chips until an opportunity presented itself for me to get back into real estate. So I did that for like 4 or 5 years, just grinding 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, just trying to, pay down all those debts that I had, because I did not want them to take any of my properties. So I was going through modifications, refinances, and all this other stuff. My credit was shot, but I was, I was out there hustling, working, trying to pay the banks a little something here and there while I stack some paper.
All right, y'all, you already know my man Dave Anderson is definitely helping entrepreneurs get amazing levels of success. Yo, he's helped his clients generate over $118 million in 2020 during the pandemic. And then now you can get unprecedented access to him and his team with his program, Bully One-on-One. You're gonna learn business from one of the best business coaches in the world for less than the cost of your cell phone bill. So here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a digital membership card that entitles you to get free access to the Business Bully virtual events and online workshops, unlimited access to their exclusive digital university with hours on demand, with business knowledge at your fingertips, zero fluff, no BS, monthly private masterminds with Dave and his team. You'll get special celebrity guest mastermind sessions. You'll learn business, all of the things that you need to take your life to the next level. All you gotta do, look, enroll now at bully101.com, bully101.com. Let's get it. All right, let's get back to the show. Wow. And so you said something though, right? So now, you lost it all, right? Millionaire, $3 million net worth, to now negative, you owe $1 million. Now you hustling, selling like hair, you doing this stuff. You hosting a poker night.
When I don't gamble.
When you don't gamble, right? How was that? How was hosting something, knowing that you had this, was it just making the decision like, I'm not doing it, so even if you put it in front of my face, it's not gonna happen? How was that?
It's funny because like with poker, when you host poker parties, it's just like it's not really gambling, so to say, because you're not playing. It's just that you're providing an environment where players could come and play. So it's basically providing food, music, a comfortable area for them, and they would pay a fee. So I would do that, and I would watch, and it's so funny because like when you're in it, you never really get to see the face. You don't look at the faces, and then I'm looking at these guys sometimes, and I was just, oh my God, that used to be me. Yeah. So I think by me hosting those poker parties, it kind of solidified it to me that like this is not something that I wanted to be in. And funny enough, because I had stopped doing it because I remember one time somebody's wife called me up. Somebody's wife had called me up and told me about, you know, keeping their husband out all night, and you know, her husband losing all the money for the house and stuff. I should be ashamed of myself. And I thought about that, and I was like, yo, you know what? That was another learning lesson for me, because if I made the personal decision that this was bad for me, you know what I'm saying? How could I promote it to other people?
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like that one phone call just got me to, you know what I'm saying, shut the shop down and stuff like that, because it's all about energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just as bad as the tobacco companies, you know what I'm saying, pushing tobacco, or the liquor companies pushing liquor to in the hood and stuff like that. So my love for people was just like, yo, because I was blind to it. I was unaware. I was just, you know what, I was just so self-centered at the time that I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. But then sometimes you just kind of need somebody to put the mirror in front of you so you can take a good look at yourself, and then you can make a decision. And I'm happy I made the decision that I did at the time.
And so at what point now did you, you know, what was that opportunity, or what was that thing that made you know that I'm back in the game, right? Like I'm back to $1 million net worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that thing?
So this is crazy. I'm gonna tell you the story. It's crazy, right? So you ever pocket dial somebody by accident, and then you got a front like you really meant to call them, right? So I pocket dialed this dude one time, and then we're talking, you know what I'm saying? I was like, and then he was telling me about this crib that's being foreclosed, and now the lady is hiding out at his mother's house in Jamaica, and this, that, because she can't deal with it, and this, that, the other. And then I looked at, you know what I'm saying, I looked at the address. And then I called the dude back. I was just like, "Yo, give me some more info on this," because they were about to foreclose on the house, like literally within weeks.
Yeah.
So he gave me all the information, but this woman was like deep in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So and you'd have to catch her at a certain time when she'd be by the phone, and this, that, the other. So I ended up like sending her a phone, like DHL, so I could talk to her. And then I made arrangements for me to actually go out to Jamaica. So I went out to Jamaica, and we struck a deal. You know, because she was about to just give the house up. Like, it was, you know, she was just gonna give up on it. And I ended up getting the house for like literally, I took over the mortgage. I think there was like maybe $300,000 or $400,000 on the mortgage that was back due and stuff like that. And she signed over the house for like change, like chump change. And so, like, we went to the embassy, she signed over the papers, and then, but what I did was, instead of trying to pay off the bank, I just got her loan reinstated, because that was part of our agreement, that I would just reinstate her loan, so that way I didn't have to come out of my pocket like crazy amount of money. So I get back to the States, and meanwhile, there was like some neighbors who've been taking care of the house for years and stuff like that, because it's been abandoned. And then when they found out that I got the house, next thing you know, they took the locks off, and just like let all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But at the end of the day, it's just like, why are you mad at me? Because I did the legwork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I found out where she was, and I went there. Y'all was just trying to get the house. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get the house on the humble. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you know what I'm saying? No humbles. You gotta get in the paint and get that rebound.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
above and beyond, like, you went to Jamaica.
I went to Jamaica. So I ended up renovating that house, and at the end of the day, I was all into that property for about $500,000, like everything, all in. Like I begged and borrowed to get them. Oh, that's another story of where I got the money from. I'll tell you that one too. But excuse me. after everything was said and done, I sold the house for like $1.7 million.
Oh, nice.
So
nice,
I
nice.
got a nice check for like $1 million and change,
Yeah.
and that was a catalyst for me to get back,
Oh.
because you know what I'm saying, like no matter how you need money to make money.
Yeah.
Like don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype that you're 0% down, XYZ. This
Yeah.
that you need money to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or else you there's two ways to make money. You can have money work and make money, or you could work and make money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes down to those M's, like there's no way you could flip your $50,000 or $75,000 or even $150,000 job. You can't save that amount of money.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need money to make it.
Yeah.
So that's when I got back in the game. That's when I really got back in the game. But not only that, but my mind shifted as well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it became more about the people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And- but here's the thing I wanted. So how did it feel touching like $1 million all at one time, right? Because I've known people who have made it to the millionaire status, or like even like there's that accumulation of wealth, right? And so it feels good when wealth is accumulating, you on your grind, you wake up and you're like, oh, right? But what about, like, how does that feel to get that, like, to get that one big check that was 7 figures? Like, I am a millionaire.
You know, the funny thing about that is, right, like the whole time I was going to Jamaica, I was waiting for it to go bad.
Yeah.
I was going to the embassy, I was waiting for something to go back. I came back, I was negotiating with the banks, I was waiting for something to go bad. Like, like I just couldn't believe, because I did the math in my head.
Yeah.
So even when we got to the closing and they was cutting that check for like, you know what I'm saying, 1.1 something, I
Yeah.
still got the picture of the check.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my God, this is the most money that at that time. At that time, that's like the most money I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was surreal.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, although it was the most money I've ever made in my life, my expenses from like living humble for the last X amount of years had like made that $1 million a lot more than it would have been before, because because I wasn't at the club blowing $5,000 a night anymore. I wasn't pushing like the hottest whip of the summer anymore. I wasn't trying to cop a new watch anymore every chance I got, and most importantly, I wasn't out there trying to impress people anymore, because the people who were impressed when I had it before, they weren't around anymore. And I realized that the people who are impressed, you don't need them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and the people you can impress are the people that you want around you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I wanna backtrack to that story one more time.
Yeah.
To touch on something really important. So the whole time, like from 2009 to 2013, when all this was going on, I was working with this girl, and like she was my ride or die, working with me all the time. And I remember like when this opportunity came, I needed like 150 grand. I was short like 150 grand to make this deal happen. So I called her up. I was just like, yo, I need you to get on the phone and start making some phone calls and see if you can get me this 150 grand. She was like, oh, you need 150 grand? She's like, I got you. And I was like, where you got 150 grand from?
Right.
And she was just like, yo, I've been rocking with you for 4 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I done seen everything you done did, and I've been taking notes, and you've been giving me game and this, that, the other. How could I not have 150 grand? So, and it just goes to show like the investment that I made in her came back to me
tenfold.
Exactly.
Right.
Because so many times we have assistants and people or people that we work with, and we don't pour into them, right? And it's just like, go get my coffee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't take the time to really develop and nurture them.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But if Andre Harrell didn't really put some money behind Puff,
Right.
where would the game be?
Yeah.
So that was another lesson that I learned right there on the spot. It's just like, yo, you have to invest in people.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hold on, don't press that button, because that's what I do every time I'm looking at an ad that I don't want to see. This ad just happened to be life-changing. I just happen to own one of the biggest home healthcare companies in the state of Georgia. I can help you create your own. Just to give you a little bit of insight, I send out registered nurses, LPNs, and CNAs to take care of people inside of the homes that cannot take care of themselves. But guess what? You don't have to have any medical background, and you don't have to have any medical knowledge. So if you're wanting to change your life and you have a passion for actually taking care of people, then go ahead and sign up for Home Healthcare Blueprint. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. And so you know, for those out there, right? 'Cause I know there's a lot of people who have aspirations to make that first M, right? And you know, there's always this saying that the first M is the hardest to make, and then after that it gets easier. Is that the truth?
That's very true. But more importantly, the one thing that I want to say is that in my whole life, I've spent a lot of time chasing money, and I've never made any real money chasing money.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
All the money that I've made have come from investing in the process, right? Like being passionate, being professional, you know what I'm saying? Being like passionate about something and doing it right, and the money has always been a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, that first M is hard to do, because the reason that first M is hard to make is because you're educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not that the M was hard to make. It was trying to get your mind to a point where it could make that. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you was a freshman.
Right.
But by the time you were a senior, you understand the game and you know how to play. You know how to play the game a little better. I think one time you had put a post up, right? And then and then I hit you on a text, and I showed you had put a post up about you working hard for money, but something, and then I sent you a screenshot of something of what I had made that day.
Yeah.
You know, like I had just like.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember that text too. Yeah, I do now.
Yeah, it's just like I had made six figures in one day in the market, right?
Yeah.
And
109,000. I remember that.
Yeah. I made like 109,000 that day, right? And it was just so easy because I knew what I was doing. Yeah. And once you know what you're doing, it's just wash, rinse, and repeat. It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. It's a cycle.
And so, you know, I'm glad you said that, right? Because I want to, you know, I know a lot of people again are trying to get to that level, right? And there's a process, right? You get to you get to the first M. But that's because you follow the process, you learned that process, and then now all you have to do is rinse, repeat. So that keeps coming up for us. And so talk about that process, right? Like somebody right now who is wanting to get into real estate, right? And they want to be successful in real estate. And there's so many, there's so many different aspects of real estate, you know? So like you said, you're a real estate investor, a real estate developer, landlord. You know, there's so many things that you do. But you know, what is the key, right, to being able to start in real estate and really build wealth, really build the level of wealth that you've been able to build and be successful and maintain it though too?
I think the first thing you need to do is build relationships.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You can't do this by yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I do 0%, I spend $0 on marketing. Like every deal that I've ever gotten is due to a referral. Wow. So the only way I get those referrals is through relationships. And so one of the ways that I build relationships is by being in different aspects of the business. So I'm a real estate broker, meaning I have people that buy and sell properties, you know, that work for me. I'm a real estate developer, meaning that I'm in constant contact with other developers and brokers from other agencies who put me onto deals. I am I am a general contractor, meaning that if while I'm fixing properties here and there, I got my ear to the streets and I'm talking to people. You know what I'm saying? So all of these are not only just referral sources, but they're also like other forms of income. And they're also other avenues for me to build relationships with people and get my tentacles out there. And not only that, but it's also other people who know who I am and what I do that are willing to invest in me. So that first deal, you know, we could go on to the like the minutia about, you know what I'm saying, getting your credit right, getting your money together, finding a deal that cash flows, and, you know, getting high equity and stuff like that. But it really comes down to the people that you surround yourself with, your attorney, your broker, your investors. You know what I'm saying? Like investors, most important people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're the plug because you need them, and that also, like, the process is making sure that your investors always get paid. You know, like on you know, I shouldn't be saying this on camera, but I've lost investors' money, but they'll never know it.
Wow.
Because even if a deal that I didn't go the way it was supposed to, I'll go into my pocket and still cover and front like everything went smooth, because my reputation is worth more than me coming out my pocket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, if somebody you know, put up $100 grand and it was supposed to get like 15% interest, you know what I'm saying, and the deal went bad, you know, and nobody wants to hear a sob story. Nobody, even if the paperwork says that, you know what I'm saying, your investment is not guaranteed X, Y, Z, I'll come out of my pocket because it's more important that I can come back to you.
Right, that 15,000 is not worth the
exactly. It's more important that I can come back to you,
Yeah.
and it's more important that since I don't spend any marketing, but I don't have a marketing budget, it's more important that I need you to go back out there and tell the streets, yo, that dude Jude,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, he can't, you know what I'm saying, that's who you got to mess with because he's legit. He's this X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in this game since 1997, and you see me on the gram. I talk a lot of junk.
Yeah.
But ain't no, you know what I'm saying? For somebody who's been on in business in New York City for 24 years, and all the junk that I talk on the gram, ain't nobody stand up and say, yo, he a liar,
Right.
yo, he a fronter, this, that, the other, because like, I'm so conscious of my brand. I'm so conscious of my character. You know what I'm saying? Because they could take the money away, but they could never take your character away. And even if they do take the money away, your character could always get you more money. So that's the advice that I would tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all the work hard and go and knock on doors or build a relationship with MLS agents and stuff like that. All that, you know, all that stuff, you could find it in a textbook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the secret sauce is being honorable, like being honorable to a fault. You know, being a good person.
Yeah.
You know, like investing in people, because it's only business. I always tell this to people. It's only business if both sides are profiting. You know what I'm saying? If I'm making money and you're not, I'm using you. You know what I'm saying? So like, make sure that everybody eats.
Yeah. And so if I hear you correctly, you're saying in order to be successful, character matters more than money.
Much.
Yeah.
Much.
And this is coming from a multi-millionaire telling you that character is worth more than money.
Yo, you know, like, I've been down so many times.
Yeah.
I've been down so many times, and what has always been my saving grace was like the belief, you know, the faith that people have in me of my character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there are always circumstances that are out of your control. But like, once the people around you know that despite anything, you will prevail. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know, like, I've had, like, I've had a friend of mine, while I was a degenerate gambler, take out her entire 401k and give it to me to get back on my feet.
Wow.
Because while I was still gambling.
Yeah.
Wow. And in hindsight, the funny thing is, in hindsight, I was just like, "Are you wildin'?"
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that's the importance of character. Above everything else, because at the end of the day, that's all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, you're at a level of success where, man, six of your guys, man, you made 6 millionaires and counting. You've been able to create a level of success. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Give sooner.
Ooh, okay.
Because I spent the very first half of my life, not even the very first half, I think it was the very first time that I did anything for anybody else besides myself was in 2010 when they had the Haitian earthquake. I had a fundraiser for them, and that's when I embraced the joy of giving. Like there's this, like the average man is concerned about himself. No, excuse me, the weak man is concerned about himself. The average man is concerned about his immediate family. And the great man is concerned about the world around him.
Yes.
And that's, their sphere of influence, the people that they impact, right? And the more people that you impact, the more people that you touch, that energy is going to be reciprocated back to you.
Yeah.
So the more people you help, the more people you give game to, the more people that you take the time to nurture them and to build them up. Those are soldiers in your army. So I would have told my 18-year-old self, yo, stop trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to get over. Get with these people who are trying to do stuff, and work with them in order to help build them up, because it'll come back to you. Because at the end of the day, nobody like befriends once you're up here.
Yeah.
Like nobody befriends the guy that's down here, right? But when y'all both right here, and you befriend this person right here, and you invest in them, and as they go up here, like now you're friends with the guy up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's so important that you build these relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Invest in people.
And that actually goes back to the saying where they say, if you want to get what you want, help enough people get what they want, and that's gonna like amplify what you want.
One of the things, the whole reason that I started the Brooklyn Bank on the financial literacy, economic empowerment, wealth building tip is so many people just don't know. They think that building wealth and being independent is like an impossible goal. You know what I'm saying? But it's not.
Yeah.
It's sad because there are people, I have friends who are from other cultures, but they get that information very early, and it's ingrained in them.
Yeah.
But we as a people, we don't, what I'm saying? We don't learn about credit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't learn about stocks. We don't learn about cryptocurrency. We don't teach our children that.
Right.
Shout out to all this new wave of financial literacy entrepreneurs like yourself, like the whole EYL crew, MG, all these guys out there who are making this information readily available.
Yeah.
But this thing was not, what I'm saying, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this thing was like,
Right.
let me just count my bread on the low and keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put the whole block on.
Right. No, I love that. And so now, when we think about where you are today, and I know you balled out, man. I know you had the cars, the cribs. What would you say so far has been the most extravagant thing you've done with money?
The most extravagant thing that I've done with money was buy a building for millions of dollars just for the sake of the hood. That I use for the sole purpose of giving back.
Wow.
You know, that's been my biggest flex.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And usually the follow-up question to that is, what is the most impactful thing you've done with money? And you know, I think that could almost go hand in hand because you've been doing some great things at the Brooklyn Bank.
Yeah. You know, like we've touched a lot of lives. You know, like we had the summer school series where we had a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of big people come through and drop some knowledge. We, like Thanksgiving, we gave away thousands of dollars, thousands of turkeys. You know, the line literally wrapped around the block. After the recent earthquake, in 5 days we were able to raise $35,000.
Nice.
$35,000 to go toward the Haitian relief to the people that go directly on the ground.
Wow.
So it's, again, I want to be that guy that doesn't just think about myself, doesn't just think about my immediate family, but I want to have impact, like globally.
Yeah. Where did that mindset come from though? Like, how did you get to the mindset of like not being selfish or not only thinking about yourself? Because it's easy to do that when you get to this level of success.
You know, like losing it the first time humbled me. Humbled me, and it made me realize what really matters.
Yeah.
You know, because all of those things that I valued, that I thought were so important, and then when it was stripped away from me, and I was right there back at the crust, at the core of seeing what is really important, it was the people. It was the people, and you know, in regards to like putting people on, there was a period in time, like when I first got some dough, I started rolling with these guys that I had nothing in common with but dough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it used to be like 10 or 15 of us just driving down, you know, with the tops down to get, you know what I'm saying, had the whole thing going on, but we had nothing in common. So like I decided it was more important to me to put the people on that I had things in common on, so we could have more things in common. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got it.
So so that's the impact that I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to use my dough for, because at the end of the day, you could only eat what, you know what I'm saying, what your stomach could allow. So like, don't be a pig. Pigs get slaughtered.
Yeah, I love it, love it. All right, so we're gonna do a speed round. And so what we do here inside the vault, we take bank terms and we flip them, right? And so the first term we're gonna talk about is charge off. And a charge off is you owe money to the bank tries to get the money from you, and they do their best, and eventually with time they'll charge it off. But for us inside the vault, charge off is about people or mindsets that you had to charge off while you were on your journey.
I had to charge off my ego.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? I had to look inside of myself and say sometimes, yo, it's not about you. And sometimes, you know, like pride. Pride, I don't know how the saying goes, but pride in the fall or something like that.
Pride comes before the fall.
Exactly. And sometimes you just got to let it go. You know, like there's so many times there's been good people, there's been good people that have come into my life. You know, funny enough, I'm gonna give a true story. I had somebody who used to work for me, and then you know, like you know, two A personalities clashed, and we bumped heads and stuff like that. I used to bump heads all the time, and so we went our separate ways. And then in hindsight, I was just like, yo, you know what, this was a good dude. So what I would do is I would like refer him business. But we still ain't speaking. But if somebody asked me, I would refer him business. But what I did recently, because I realized the only thing that had stopped us from continuing our relationship is pride. So I called him up. I was just like, yo, what's good? How are you? And he was a little, I'm good. Like, what do you want? I was like, I don't want nothing. But you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let you know that you know, like, whatever happened in the past happened in the past. We ain't gotta be best buds and stuff like that, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So letting the ego go. Because like great things could like once we let the ego go, that's great things could happen.
Absolutely. All right, term Number 2 is trust account, right? Trust account is where you put your valuable assets and you put it in there. You keep it protected. You help it grow. What people or mindsets do you have in your trust account that's helping you grow?
My family.
Yeah.
And when I say my family, I'm not just talking about mom, dad, and things like that, but it's the core people around me that keep me protected and keep me grounded. That like my circle of trust. Like whenever, like I remember when the whole R. Kelly thing went down, the first thing that came to my mind was like, yo, where was this boys at?
Right,
how did this happen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how did nobody pull him to the side and be like, yo, you wildin', son. Stop wildin'.
Right.
And like, it doesn't matter how many M's I got.
Yeah.
Like, in that group chat, I could get it just like anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because it's, or like whenever I'm going Hollywood or you wildin', like I have those, those core people who keep me grounded and tell me, yo, Jude, slow down or do this or do that,
Yeah, nah, love it. And so, what's next for you, man? Because I know you drop a lot of knowledge. You're definitely somebody that's tapped in, somebody very knowledgeable in the real estate game. Any future projects? Like what's next? When we look up next 3 to 5 years, what is Jude doing?
Well, the truth of the matter is, you're gonna be great at whatever you spend your time doing, right?
Yeah.
And I've been able to build amass this real estate portfolio and this business portfolio because that's what I've been focused on.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really want to concentrate on going forward is working on family and balance and being less stressed and stuff like that. So the businesses that I put in place, they're kind of on cruise control.
Nice.
I'm an old man too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to just letting these businesses like grow on their own and putting a team together and letting them grow so I could enjoy the time with the people that I love a little bit more.
I love it. There you have it, right? The Haitian billionaire, Jude Bernard, multi-millionaire, real estate investor, developer, but he's a good guy, and so make sure y'all tap in. If somebody wants to tap in with you, connect with you, where can they find you?
You can hit me on the gram, Mr. Jude Bernard, or you could go to judebernard.com, and I'll be right there, I'm accessible.
There you have it. Another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. We bringing you nothing but heavy hitters that will change your life forever. The game that you're hearing, you cannot unhear. Einstein said, once your mind gets stretched to a level, it will never get unstretched. So you keep tuning in. We're going to keep stretching that mind. We're going to keep depositing, right? Some positivity, some real game, some actionable game that you could take to the next level. Because my man, look, you got to have the type of friends that text you and be like, yo, I just made $109,000 in a day. Right? That was nothing. Light work. Not 6 figures in a year, not in a month, in one single day. All right, y'all. Ash Cash, Inside the Vault. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Follow me, Ash Cash, at I am Ash Cash. And we're closing the vault. I'm going to see you next time in God's will. Same time, same place. Peace.
Oh yeah. You want Ash Cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.